Now, I want to get into this right here, right? Let me pull this up. I want to pull this video up. And I want you to just pay attention to, once again, this new tactic from the Harris campaign. This new tactic from the Harris campaign, in which now they're the ones accusing Donald Trump of hiding. They're accusing him of being scared. He's running a campaign from the basement. He doesn't want to debate. He doesn't want to do interviews. Literally everything that Kamala Harris was doing, to which Trump was doing the complete opposite and still is, they're now putting that on him. But let's get into this clip because it's so ridiculous and foolish. Let's listen to this very quickly.
And he's not, but here's the thing, North Carolina, and he's not being transparent with the voters. He's not being transparent. So check this out. He refuses to release his medical records. I've done it. Every other presidential candidate in modern era has done it. He is unwilling to do a 60 Minutes interview. Like every other major party candidate has done for more than half a century.
She's just hating because she bombed that 60 Minutes interview badly. And on top of that, it was highly edited and you still failed. But carry on, Kamala.
He is unwilling to meet for a second debate. And here's the thing. It makes you wonder. Why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable to lead America? Is that what's going on? So folks, for these reasons and so many more, it is time to turn the page.
How do you say it's time to turn the page when you're the one who is currently and presently in office? Are you saying that it's time to turn the page from yourself? Is that what you're saying? It's time to turn the page from yourself? That doesn't make sense. And it just shows how much of a state of disarray that they're in when you're the one in office and you're telling the people it's time to turn the page for me. So vote for me. That literally makes no sense. But once again, they're completely unraveling. If you notice, when she started talking about Trump needing to release his medical records, I had a bit of a smirk on my face. I might have had it on my face the entire time, actually, but it's because of what I'm getting ready to play for you next. You know what? You all know I'm bad with names. But this woman on Meet the Press, she was just talking complete foolishness as it pertains to Donald Trump's medical records. And I want you to listen to what she said that the public needs to know about Donald Trump. Okay, just listen to this. These people are scrambling.
Strength that we need in a time like this. We're in the most dangerous moment since World War II. You have to have strength. You have to have a steady hand. You have to have a commander-in-chief that our allies respect and our enemies fear. They do not fear Kamala Harris. They do fear Donald Trump.
Mr. Speaker,
that's what people are going to vote on.
Just to be very clear, he hasn't released all of his medical records. He released 2 letters. Should he release the results of the cognitive test?
It's unnecessary. He's on display every minute.
So it's unnecessary. You can see that he didn't release his medical records. You don't want to know things like his cholesterol level, whether he's dealing with any issue that we may not know about.
His cholesterol level? Do you all want to know about Trump's cholesterol level? Is that what voters really want to know? Is that what's going to swing this election? Whether or not Donald Trump has high cholesterol? That's what's going to determine, whether or not Trump wins Pennsylvania and the other swing states. If that cholesterol level is too high, I don't know, man. I don't think I could vote for. You all know that I've been championing Trump this entire time, but let me find out Trump has high cholesterol. I can't do it. If he has high cholesterol, I can't do it. Let me just rewind it back just a little bit, and then I'll let it play through. This is crazy. Every time she talks, her numbers go down. Every time she talks, her numbers go down. Let's get into that. We need to get into the polling now, because everything that he just stated was true. And the mainstream press refuses to articulate it in this way. They refuse to articulate the fact that Trump is actually the one surging, as Kamala Harris is the one that's going backwards. And that's what I want to get into next right now with this clip here. Let's break this down a little bit, because like I said, the mainstream press, they're not going to explain it and articulate it the way I'm going to, which isn't in a profound way. It's just articulating it and explaining the polling data honestly based off of what we're actually seeing, right? And not talking about Donald Trump's cholesterol, because nobody cares about that. But let's get into this clip right here.
Boy, this is a big one.
Yeah, I mean, Kristen, I mean, the numbers say it. It is a tie game here weeks before the election, and it's that shift. Our last poll taken in the wake of that September debate, Harris had opened up that advantage over Trump. Gone in our new poll. What goes into that? What's behind that? I think this one is revealing. This is the basic perception voters have of these candidates. Is it positive? Is it negative? Now, these are not great numbers for either one. Trump 43 positive, 51 negative. He's 8 points underwater, you might say. But look at Harris. Exact same positive score, and that negative number almost in the exact same place. And this is it. The last time we polled this question after that debate, Harris had really made up ground in this area. Look, she had a positive rating, 48 to 45. So that advantage has all in the last few weeks in our poll washed away for her.
Let's stop right here. So once again, if this doesn't show that the DNC, that the mainstream media press is the DNC, right, then I don't know what else does, because they're only articulating this from the standpoint of, you know, Kamala Harris is a bit stagnant. Things are getting a little shaky for Harris, but they refuse to discuss how Trump is surging and moving forward. What is the time stamp there? 59 seconds. All right, I'm going to blow this up really quickly, right? Let's go back over here, what they keep showing, because they keep showing you September data, and then they're showing you the current data. And look at what we're seeing here for September. Back in September, what you're seeing there is that Kamala Harris was apparently winning 49% to Donald Trump's 44% back in September. From that time up until now, Kamala Harris has dropped a percentage point to 48, and Donald Trump has gained 4 percentage points, to which it's tied. But they refuse to talk about the gains of Trump. They're only talking about the stagnation and slight regression, if you let them tell it, of Kamala Harris. Then you come back over here to what they were talking about, feelings towards candidates, positive and negative. Well, back in September, Donald Trump had a 53% negative percentage, right? Now, in the current day, it went down to 51, where his positive rating was once at 40%, and now it's at 43. You come to Kamala Harris, her negative and positive rating have completely flipped. In September, her negative rating was 45%. It went up to 49. Her positive rating was at 48% in September. It dropped down to 43. They refuse to articulate it in that way. And you're going to continue to see this trend the more they go forward. They're going to break down more data and keep excluding the fact that Trump is surging. This is why they're so desperate for another debate. They're desperate for another debate because they're looking for hopefully another eat the dogs, eat the cats remix. You know, maybe they'll get a remix of that. And hopefully they could try to fearmonger people to the polls, but it didn't work the first time. So I don't know why they would even think it would work the second time. But that's why they're so desperate into baiting Trump into another debate. But let's get going with this clip here.
In the last few weeks in our poll washed away for her. Then there's some issues, some characteristics here. These are advantages in red here that you see for Trump now versus September. On the immigration and the border, we asked voters who would be better on this. In September, Trump had a big advantage. It's gotten bigger. On inflation and the cost of living, Trump's advantage now hits double digits. And on the question of who represents change, Harris had the advantage in September. She still does, but lower.
So significant because voters are telling us change is a critical issue for them, not the direction you want to be going in there.
Once again, Donald Trump's numbers keeps going up from September to now. plus 25 on immigration. From September to now, from plus 8 to plus 11 on inflation and cost of living. Kamala Harris, and this is such a representing change that doesn't even mean anything. That's not something that people are thinking about. That's not immigration and the border, inflation and cost of living. What does representing change even mean? That doesn't mean anything in your day-to-day life. They're literally pulling up a nonsensical piece of data that means absolutely nothing just for there to be a positive marker for Kamala Harris. Once again, what does that even mean? Representing change? I don't know what they're talking about when they say that. So once again, you're seeing buyer's remorse. And that's why his numbers are surging the way that they are. It's simply because of that, because of buyer's remorse. Now, I want to fast forward to this part right here, because once again, and then we're going to move on to the next segment. Once again, this just continues to go to show that when you're talking about the mainstream media, they are the propaganda wing of the DNC, with the exception of like Fox News and the New York Post, as it pertains to the mainstream, right? Let's look at this here, because I don't believe any of what we're getting ready to see right now.
Vice presidents did. And then we could talk about issues. This is an interesting way. Typically in the past, we've just given folks a list of issues, said, are they important? Here we've asked a question, is this issue so singularly important that it's the entire basis of your vote for president? And you could see abortion comes in number one there.
And that's so significant. This is the first presidential election after Roe v. Wade was overturned. Hugely significant. Abortion is at the top. Usually we're talking about the cost of living as being the energizing factor.
Do any of you seriously believe, in all honesty, do any of you believe that abortion is at the top of the list? Abortion. Cost of living is at the bottom? I don't believe that at all whatsoever. Cost of living is at the bottom, and abortion is at the top. Abortion has been at the bottom of the list since forever and a day, since Roe v. Wade was struck down, you can say, by the Supreme Court. And they bring it up all the time in these little polling statistics, and nobody cares. It's always at the bottom of the list. But now all of a sudden, because they're looking to help Kamala out, they're struggling, they're scrambling, they're trying to make it seem like she's at least winning somewhere. You have this portion of the polls that I personally don't believe, in which now they're saying abortion is at the top and cost of living is at the bottom. It would have been a little bit more believable. I still wouldn't have believed it, but it would have been a little bit more believable if cost of living was at least number two. But to say that it's at the bottom is completely nonsensical. It is completely nonsensical, and I don't believe that at all whatsoever. But once again, we are talking about the propaganda wing of the DNC, which is the mainstream media press, MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. That's who they are, and we're really watching them aggressively campaign on Harris's behalf in a way, at least to me personally, in a way that I haven't noticed the mainstream media campaign on behalf of a candidate before, right? They've always skewed. They were always DNC, right? Let's not be confused about that. They've always been the DNC media, but this level of aggressiveness as it pertains to how aggressively they're campaigning for Harris, to me, maybe I just haven't been paying close attention. I haven't noticed or seen anything like this ever to me. So I want to transition really quick. I want to show you guys something. I want to play something for you.